my fellow Tottenham fans, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur with your boy Big Dave, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan. And today I bring you your predicted lineup as Tottenham travel to Old Trafford to take on a weak and feeble Manchester United as we look to mount our title challenge between here and the end of the season. And of course, we are boosted by a couple of new signings and players returning back from injury. So let's get into it. Let's go through the lineup that I think Ange Postecoglou will select to bring home all 3 points from Old Trafford. And it is an absolute massive game. I've a few friends that are United fans, so, it's a lot on the line for me. I really do need to beat them at Old Trafford at their place and do the double over them for the first time since El Tal Coquerel, Terry Venables, was in charge. So, look, let's get straight into it, and we will start with the one and only Guglielmo Vicario, the best goalkeeper in the Premier League by a country mile. Now, he had to pull off some massive saves in the reverse fixture to keep us in the game, which we eventually went on to win, and he might have to do the exact same here again. But 100% is in the running for goalkeeper of the season, and a big display at Old Trafford would definitely help him on his way to that award. Now, moving on to left back, and it is the big dog, Destiny Udogie, best left back in the league by a country mile. And I think he will be tested this week defensively, coming up against Garnacho. But what I would say with Udogie, I think he has all the sort of attributes a winger like Garnacho hates: speed, strength, aggression, touch-tight defending, and loves a tackle. So I have no doubt Udogie will be able to neutralise Garnacho's threat. Also, what I will say with Udogie, now I already think he's the best left-back in the league. If he wants to go on and become the best left back in world football, I think he needs to add goals to his game. And why I say that is, I think he gets himself into great positions. If you watch him, he gets himself into great positions in and around the box. And I noticed a lot versus Burnley. I think he's very quickly wants to pass on the responsibility to someone else in the forward area. Where I think at times I would love to see him maybe have a bit more confidence in himself, a bit more belief, and have a crack, because there are times the option has been there and he maybe hasn't took it. So if he wants to become the best left back in the world, Udogie, you know what you need to do, big man. Now, moving on to right back, and we are going to stick with the best right back in the Premier League. Everyone's talking about Trent, but for me, it's Pedro Porro. I mean, what a winner versus Burnley, along with the bad boy celebration, which I absolutely loved. I would also love another one at Old Trafford. That'd be unbelievable. He has actually scored against Man United. So if you're a betting man, maybe I would probably stick him down for a goal on this one. Imagine he gets goals in back-to-back games. Now, he will be coming up against Marcus Rashford. So he will have a difficult afternoon. Despite Marcus Rashford maybe not being in a lot of confidence, still does pose a threat with his pace. We know how open that right-hand side can be. With Pedro Porro, I do hope that he can capitalise on maybe Marcus Rashford not being as confident, get touch tight to him wherever you can, and look to dislodge that ball at every opportunity and take him out of the game. I would also say, with Pedro Porro, he takes set pieces, nearly every single one of them, and they were absolutely horrific and horrendous against Burnley. We need better deliveries this week from Pedro Porro. We really do, because for me, against Man United, it's about keeping them in their half, bombarding them at every opportunity, whether it's free kicks, corners, balls into box, balls in behind, 1-2s. Just keep the pressure on them. They will buckle under that pressure. So he needs to be absolutely expert from set pieces. And we know he has it in him. So hopefully he can deliver from set pieces. Also in possession, I'd love to see him maybe take on a bit more responsibility with the ball at times. We know from seeing it this season, he's got that lovely ball over the top. He played one for Richarlison. I believe he played one, it was either for Brennan Johnson or Son as well beforehand. But he's also got a great delivery from out wide. So I'd like to see him maybe step up a bit more in possession and take a bit more responsibility in possession. I'm only asking it of him because I know he has that technical ability. Now, we will move on to the centre-back partnership, and this is where maybe, what would I say? Maybe a point of difference between me and other people come in here. So please do let me know in the comments below what your ideal centre-back partnership will be. But we will start with the left-sided centre-back, because I do think it sort of comes with less controversy. Fair play to Ben Davies, stepped in, done what he could. But the return of Mickey van der Ven brings a tear to my eye. My God, how much we have sort of really missed him. Now, he was on the bench versus Burnley, but he didn't get a look in. But I do think he will start today at Old Trafford. And I'm delighted he's back. His return is an absolute huge boost. His recovery place allows us to play that high line with great effect, which I also think has maybe dropped a little bit from where it was at the first 10 games, which I understand when you don't have the pace that we once possessed in it. But what it also has a knock-on effect is that press that we play, because it means midfielders and forwards to have a greater distance to travel to make that press effective. Whereas in the first half of the season, that high line was practically just below the halfway line. And it basically meant that everyone else had shorter distance to cover to make that press effective and turn ball higher up over the pitch. With him coming back, I'm pretty sure we will see this at Old Trafford, and we will look to attempt it as well. So for me, I'm absolutely delighted that he's back, and we're going to need his pace as well. If Garnacho does get in behind or Rashford does get in behind, do not worry about it. Speedy Gonzalez will get across to cover that, no problem whatsoever. And I'm just delighted. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my man. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. I'm absolutely delighted Van de Ven is back. I call him Van de Ice Cold Veins. I absolutely love the guy. He's absolutely brilliant. Now, moving on to right-sided centre-back. What I will say before I bring up who I'm going to put in here, Dragusin has got his paperwork in time to start. And I know Postecoglou said on Romero, he's back, but this game might come too soon. However, and there is a big however, I think if Romero does declare himself fit, ready, and available, I think he starts purely because Madison's out injured, one of the vice captains. Sonny's out at the Asian Cup, and he could be gone for a while. So we do need that natural-born leader back in the team. We've absolutely missed some leadership across that back line. That's why it's been pulled from pillar to post. There's no one communicating. No one's taking that responsibility. So we need him back in there for that leadership. Someone that organises the line is a quality that I think gets overlooked in modern-day football massively, which didn't back maybe in the older days. But it's absolutely crucial. I also will add maybe two quick things on Romero. I think Dragusin coming in here, providing that real sort of quality behind Romero. I think he knows if he does pick up a suspension or if he is out injured again, there's every potential that Dragusin could step in there, make a name for himself because he has that quality, that ability, that hunger. Let's not forget he turned down Bayern Munich, fourth choice defender at Bayern Munich to come to Tottenham to get into this team. So with Romero, I'm hoping it maybe pushes him on to become an even better player. I think he's just on the cusp of becoming world class, and hopefully Dragusin coming in here will push him on to be that world class defender. In order for that to happen, I think he just needs to have a bit more calmness sometimes. I think sometimes if he gets all these responsibilities and just goes, which I absolutely love, but in order to become that world-class defender, he just has to provide that bit more aura of calm around that back line. And hopefully you maybe might see some of these rash challenges curtailed a little bit, especially where I think he doesn't know and he's going to pick up a card. But saying that, referees are also looking to book him very, very quickly because they know the nature of the guy. So look, it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. And also, Romero, when he came back from his suspension from the Chelsea game against West Ham, he came back with a goal and apologised to the fans. Will he return with another run bomb? I'd absolutely love to see it. I would love to see it. But guys, let me know in the comments below what your ideal centre-back partnership would be going in for this game. Now, moving into midfield, again, it's sort of another contentious talking point, who should start, who shouldn't. So I'm going to get Rodrigo Bentancur out of the way straight away. For me, he's the most obvious starter in this midfield. He's been absolutely sensational to Tottenham since we signed him. And look, it's absolutely great to see him back in the lineup versus Burnley. And for me, he was just finding his feet. I think there's so much more to come from Bentancur. I think he was just looking to get out there, get some minutes in his leg, get the feel of the ball again. Before he really starts showing us what we were missing. But one thing I will say with Bentancur is, regardless whether he's just back from injury or not, we really need him in this game. He is the midfielder that we're looking for to be that guy on the ball, string sort of our performance along, be that tempo setter on the ball, pick up the ball left, right, run with it if you need to, take players out of the game. But we really do need that command and performance from Bentancur in the midfield. He needs to be that leader, like I said, that tempo setter, because it is Man United's biggest weakness. And I think we need to get on top of that, expose that. If you get on top of their midfield, you will have them penned back for large periods of this game, which means we've just got to bombard them, like I said, with Porro, put the pressure on, and they will crack. And I think a lot of that will stem from how good Bentancur is on the day against Man United. Two things I love, or two more things just quickly about Bentancur. One, if Romero doesn't get selected, he was the captain versus Burnley. Will he be captain again at Old Trafford? Let me know your thoughts in the comments on that below. If Romero's not selected, who would you give the captaincy to? And the other thing is, with Bentancur, he's had two injury setbacks, and he's come back from both early, which I absolutely love. My type of player, showing commitment to the cause, commitment to the badge, commitment to the fans, and I wish we had more and more mentalities like that. Absolutely love that from Bentancur. Brilliant from the guy to get back and help us on the pitch in any what way he can, nice and early. Now, moving on to the right side of the midfield. Yeah, as you can see, Ollie Skip. Look, it's a toss-up between Højbjerg and Ollie Skip. With Højbjerg, he's made it no secret, even since last summer, he doesn't want to be here anymore. He wants to leave and maybe go on for something, Pasteur's new project, which, look, I can understand to a certain degree. Given that he's all in midfield, hasn't really had too much help down the years in that department. I think he's just tired of it. But now that it's the January transfer window, will his mind be on a move? Will he pull out of challenges? Will he be as committed knowing that there's a move on the cards? If he gets an injury and it's long term, that scuppers that move and maybe doesn't help him with the Euros for Denmark at the end of the season. So on that basis, I think Postecoglou has no option but to go with Ollie Skip. With Ollie Skip, I don't know what we're going to do with the guy, because when he first came in here, he only had Højbjerg and Winks to compete with, which if he ran more than Winks, he was automatically going to be in that midfield. Suffered a massive injury, a long sort of setback. And then since he's come back, I think he's realised the quality in and around him, and it's maybe scared him a little. Maybe he's lost a lot of confidence, but he'll never become good enough to be able to come into that midfield unless he really sort of just has a long, hard look in the mirror, question, why am I here? What's got me here? What did I do well that got me here? How do I get that back out of myself? What can I bring to that midfield that no one else is bringing? Because against Burnley and other games we've seen him, it's just been nowhere near good enough. He goes to put pressure on a guy, he can never get the tackle in. If they run at him and put the ball by him, he just pulls them down and gives away free kicks rather than, make a good time tackle. On the ball, he's absolutely horrendous. Just passes on responsibility onto other players. For me, he's going to start today. He's going to get maybe a bit of a run in the team until we do get other players back. How far away is Maddison back? Sarr, Bissouma. So he might get a couple more games in there, yeah. And now it's really his opportunity to show why he's at Tottenham Hotspur. Look, I do hope it works out for the kid. I always want academy players to come in and do well. However, I do think that injury has affected him massively. But guys, again, let me know. Do you think, should Skip play? Should Højbjerg play? Sort of 50-50. What do you do? Now, moving on to the other side of midfield, the left side of midfield, with Lo Celso, of course, picking up a knock. I do think it will be Dejan Kulusevski tasked to maybe be put in that midfield and sort of bring that creativity. However, what I would say with Kulu is I do think he needs to massively pick up his performances. The Burnley game, he was poor. A couple of games before that, he was poor. But against Burnley, he didn't make one key pass. He didn't put in one accurate cross. And we really need him to step up in the absence of the likes of Sonny and stuff like that. He really has that sort of ability and that presence to be able to do that. And I want him to believe in himself. And I think now is the time to unleash the change, the big change. Show us what you can bring to this Tottenham team in the absence of other players. Sonny always used to step up without Kane. Now it's time for Kulu to be able to step up without Sonny. Across that forward line, he's the guy I have the most confidence in to be able to bring that spark, to bring that sort of creativity. So hopefully he can bring that running through the middle. And again, defensively, just put pressure on Man United. You're going to outwork them. But with Kulu and Bentancur in there, hopefully that Man United midfield have a very, very difficult day. But let me know in the comment section as well, though. Do you agree with me when it comes to Kulu that now, he sort of needs to step up, show that he's one of the leaders of this squad now, especially if other players are out or off representing their countries on international duty. Now, moving on to the forward line. Again, another one, which is good in a way. Like, we've got so many options now. It creates talking points, sparks a bit of controversy. Whereas before, it was just like, this is your lineup, this is the way it's going to be, which I suppose is a good thing. But we're going to get the easy one out of the way, and that is Brennan Johnson. I do believe he will retain his position on the right wing. But what I will say with Brennan Johnson, he has had a run of games now, but he really does need to become so much more clinical and add goals to his games. He had an abundance of chances and breakaways to kill Burnley off, and he did not do it. And this is where Johnson, for me, can become really effective in this Tottenham team. He has the ability to be able to kill teams off with his devastating pace, create something out of nowhere. One thing I do think he does very well is he makes great runs in behind, where players from deep can find him and have found him. But when he gets on the ball, he just absolutely wastes these chances away. And they're chances where if you kill these teams off, you kill off their belief that they can get something off the game. You make the game less nerve-wracking for the last 10, 20 minutes. But also, it gives you the opportunity to go on and kill these teams off completely. 3, 4, 5, and breed confidence, breed fear from opposition teams when you step up to play them. So with Brennan Johnson, that's for me where he makes this impact, Son will get you a goal when he's played. Other players will get you a goal. What we need him to do is capitalize on it and kill teams off. Really do. And I don't want to keep harping on that, but he's had a run in the side now. If Gill was doing this, people would be going absolutely ballistic with the guy. So now it's time for him to step up. And what I will say is there's no better place than Old Trafford to step up and announce that I've arrived at Tottenham Hotspur and I deserve to be at Tottenham Hotspur. All the eyes are watching. The whole world is watching. Do it at Old Trafford. Now, moving on to left wing and the striker. Again, it's horses for courses here. What do you do? What does Ange do? Ange could just go pull Richie's side and go, look, Richie, for the benefit of the team, I need you to go down the left here. I know you can create from the left. You've done that earlier on the season. You've already got a few assists to your name. For the sake of the team, I need you out here. However, does that then absolutely demolish Richarlison's confidence? He came out today. We've heard quotes on how he's grateful he is to the club, how much they've helped him, especially with his off the field problems, this, that, and the other. And I've no doubt he wants to repay. But is that a vote of no confidence if you move him to the left? Do you kill Richarlison off completely at this club if you do that? Hard one to weigh up. Also, with Werner coming in, do you look to exploit with his pace in behind? Again, he's another one like Richarlison. If he's in behind, do you have 100% confidence he's going to do it? I don't think you do that he's going to put it away. I think regardless whether Richarlison or Timo Werner runs in behind, I think we're all sitting there hoping it goes in rather than going, yeah, that's a goal like we would with Sonny, like we would when Kane was running through. So whoever it is, both of these guys really need to step up now and sort of show their clinical nature. But look, I will go with the left wing, and I am going to go with Timo Werner off the left. The reasons why is I think if you put Werner down the middle, I think you run into the same problem we were running into when we had Son down the middle. Everyone was moaning, the wingers aren't creating, they're not crossing the ball. Well, they couldn't because they had no one to aim at. You put Werner down the middle, you put yourself back in that exact same position. And then it just means the winger is going to be looking to cut inside all the time, and it's easy for defenses to play against. They want you to play everything in front of them. What they don't want is balls into the box, balls in and around, in around them. They don't want that. They want you to come back across and be shielded by the midfield. We can't play into teams' hands like that. So for me, I put Werner on the left-hand side. What I want to see from Werner, what I think I know I'm going to get, especially out of the ball, he's going to be relentless in that press. That's one of the main reasons why Postecoglou has signed them to come here, is to sort of, the work rate out of possession. I've felt sorry for Richie for the last while, especially in the terms of out of possession work. He goes and presses all the time. I do feel like Johnson, Sonny, maybe with the Asian Cup coming up and stuff like that, they were hesitant to go. Midfield were hesitant to go. Fullbacks were hesitant to go. When that press was full effective, go back and look at it in the first 10 games. Forward line went as one unit. Midfield pushed up as one unit. Fullbacks pushed up, so they had no outball. Now teams are finding outballs left, right, and centre and just playing through us. So hopefully Werner comes in and will add to that relentless nature of the press, help us turn the ball up, higher over in the pitch, in dangerous positions, help us capitalise on it. What I will say is, if anyone's going to get the guy firing, breathing of confidence, it will be the big Ange Postecoglou. Look what he's done to every other player. He had to pick up their confidence. It was on the floor when he walked in here. He had to pick up the confidence of the whole squad. He's managed to do that. Can he do it with Timo Werner? But for this game, I think we might see him start on the left, potentially maybe moving into the middle if Richarlison doesn't do the job. But I do think this might be Richarlison's sort of last game up front for a while if he does not find the back of the net. And that brings me on to the big guy, Big Rich. Look, very wasteful against Burnley, no denying that. 2 chances, very identical actually, and the finishes were very identical. Scuffed both of them right across the goalkeeper. He didn't score in the game before Burnley as well, so that's sort of 2 games without a goal. But what I will say, with the addition of Timo Werner, I do think this is make or break for someone like Richarlison. He will either become more clinical and show he is good enough. He is the man to be able to carry the weight of the club on the shoulders, because that's what every striker has to do when they come in at a big club. You know, teams are relying on you to go and kill teams off, win you games. So the pressure's always going to be there, regardless of whoever else is in around him in the team. Or he'll crumble and prove that he was never going to be the man in the first place under the weight of expectancy, under the pressure. So I think we will, one way or another, I think we'll get our answer when it comes to Richarlison. But what I will say, now it's up to him. You know, Spurs fans, the club, they've given you a bit of leeway. You've had your injuries, you've had your off-the-field issues, you've had your surgery. You've come back, you've hit the ground running. Last couple of games, maybe a bit disappointing. So what I want to see him today is grab the game by the scruff of the neck. When that opportunity presents itself, take it, tuck it away. You know, at Old Trafford. The whole Premier League is laughing at Richarlison. I don't get it, because he's got more than Nketiah, Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, people like that. But they seem to take the piss out of Richarlison. So for me, you know, no better place, like I said, at Old Trafford, where the world's eyes are watching, to show that you can't be that guy. Look, if he starts on the left, he starts on the left, and maybe I understand the reasoning, bit of creativity off the left-hand side like he produced when he was there earlier. But I would like to see him given that one last chance down the middle, and hopefully you see a much better player now that he's got competition for his place. But look, that is my predicted lineup, guys. Please let me know your predicted lineup in the comments. Would you make any changes? Werner and Richarlison, who do you play down the middle? Who do you play left? Skip or Højbjerg in the midfield. Who do you want to see? Romero or Dragusin in at that side centre-back? Let me know in the comment section below. Last bit of thing I forgot to say it with Kulu. There has been rumours circulating this morning that he's got an illness and he's 50-50 for tomorrow. So let's wait and see what happens there. If he doesn't start tomorrow, I think we've got our answer that maybe he is carrying that illness into the game. However, I really do hope that he's fit, because if not, that midfield is going to give me an absolute heart attack tomorrow. But look, regardless, the whole world's eyes are watching. Everyone will be tuning in tomorrow at 4:30 at Old Trafford. Hopefully Tottenham can turn up, show the world, you know, how good we are, put our name down, lay our name down on the gauntlet for the title challenge. Get out there with the 3 points, and let's take it from there. Come on, you Spurs. In the mighty Ange Postecoglou, we trust. We never stop. Let's go. Mwah!